Two. Hi there. Good day, everyone. This is Irfan again, your clarity coach. And today we have an amazing human being on this podcast with me today. And I have known this human being, this amazing, beautiful soul, for almost 4 years now. So before we start, for people who are tuning in for the first time and who don't know me, let me tell you who I am and what this podcast is about. So Irfan Noorani is my name. I'm a clarity coach. I've been doing work in the area of human transformation, life transformation for the last 4 years. And the objective of this podcast is to help people realize their potential, get clarity, and help them to move forward. And with this insight, or with this intention in mind, I connect with a lot of amazing individuals from all around the world. And today we have an amazing human being who's from UK. Her name is Neela Gohil. She is an amazing person, which as I mentioned to you, I've met her 4 years ago, pretty much. And Neela has done some phenomenal work. She has been a corporate human resource person for the last number of years, and she has done some global leadership training and development in UK for about 14 years. And she has impacted thousands of people's lives worldwide across UK, Europe, India, Russia, and her clients are from some of the biggest companies in corporate domain as well in India or in UK, right? She has also been associated with Finishing School, Sky TV, health clubs, schools and salons, wellness spas worldwide, and Neela herself has overcome a lot of emotional roller coaster journeys, which have been continuously come up in her life as challenges. And Neela is well trained in hundreds of modalities and strategies and tools in the area of human transformation, which has enabled her not only to heal herself, but resolve a lot of issues for a lot of people around the globe. Now, Neela, welcome to the Conversations with Clarity Coach or Clarity Man Irfan podcast. How are you this afternoon?
Hey, Irfan, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I don't think I've ever been introduced in that way.
I was thinking I missed a few things, because I'm sure you're much more than the introduction part, and hence I really wanted to get into a conversation with you to see how we can impact with this conversation thousands of people who are listening out there, who may be going through certain challenges, or maybe who may be looking for answers for a situation that they are in. And you are the best person, one of the best person that I've come across. So I thought,
thank
why
you.
not?
That's very kind. It's wonderful to be here. And of course, I'll do my best, to share some of this wisdom with you.
Sure. So Neela, I know, I wanted this conversation not only for all the people, but, for me to even understand a few things that, I know we have not discussed a lot of things in this area, because, I know you have so much more than, there are, like you say, there is much more in the book than the cover,
Yeah.
So I want to know a little bit more about you as well. How this transformation journey came about in your life, and where did you, what was a turning point in your life that allowed you to understand that there is much more to life, and I have to transform and heal, and I want to go out in this journey, amazing journey of transforming people's life. What made you come to this point, basically?
Yeah, so I have quite a huge story, but let's just start with death, shall we? Because I believe, I know it's a topic not many people want to talk about, but that's where my actual journey started.
Okay.
And I think it's a lessons from death, and specifically my mother, who I lost to cancer at a very young age. I think that's where my turning point started, because I think death can teach you many things, and it also opens you up in your questioning. At that time, you wake up and it's like a wake up call, right?
Yeah.
Whether you've had a death of somebody around you, it makes you wonder, what is the purpose of life? Why am I here? What happens after death? And I think that's when I went on my inner healing journey to discover what is life then?
Right.
Because obviously, I think in my case, I've had a lot of things in my life where I've had to face near-death situations as well. I mean, I've had 3 near-death experiences in my life.
Wow.
Really woken me up to life. And something that I do now is called inspirational life. You know, how do you live an inspirational life? Rather than, so inspirational, you know, just so that I can explain to the listeners, it's all about how do you have an inspired idea that comes into your life, and then how do you then take action on it. And a lot of it is I'm writing a book, and I go more into that and how you can also have that kind of life. So I feel I'm somebody who's already kind of living that kind of life, but there are certain skills and tools that we need to learn so that we can have that kind of life.
Yes, of course, you know, and you mentioned about your book as well, so I don't want to miss on that, but I am sure that your book is going to be full of insights and understanding of, you know, how you went through your journey. And, you know, so tell me, when is your book coming out, and what is it, if you have to summarize, what is it about, the book?
Yeah, so the book really is written to serve my readers, really to inspire them to really move closer to discovering who they really are. Because I think there's just so much uncertainty and change in the world. You know, you just got to take a look around you. So I'm somebody, I believe it's essential for people to really understand how they can navigate through life.
True.
You know, with confidence, and really tap into love, because I think love is the basis of everything. And that will really help you to build a bridge to, you know, creating more happiness and harmonious relationships. Because I think the reason why I do what I do is because of my own relationship journey as well. And it's really opened me up. And I've realized, you know, a lot of my clients come to me, you know, they're not confident, they want more love. They're always searching for something, you know, connection, what life is. And so I really help them to tap into themselves.
Right. Amazing. You know, I remember my journey, you know, completely lost, confused as growing up. And, you know, how life throws these things at you and situations, and, you know, like a wake up call in your case, when you see your mom, you know, going through the incident that you mentioned. And, you know, I went through a lot of challenges, not knowing what needs to be done. How will I figure it out? I was pretty young, and you know, there were a lot of turmoil in my personal world. You know, relationships were falling apart because, you know, we had fights in the house because of the property issues. My father is not around because he had passed away when I was 2, so no one is standing for us to, you know, take our share and stuff. And, you know, there's so many challenges that I show. But, you know, during that confused and, you know, that state of not knowing what to do, actually, that, you know, how beautiful it is, you know, today that I'm a clarity coach, because I saw a certain point in my life that, you know, I had no one to ask these important questions and, you know what next. And today I get to inspire, because maybe there was that point that I went through and shaped my character during that time, you know, So it's really vital, I think, for us, you know, when we go through this journey, you know, how we look at it, what are we taking out of it, and, you know, creating into something beautiful and magical with love. Of course, you said that the most important ingredient in the dish of life, let's put it this way, is the love. You know, you need to have love, and that's a beautiful message. I'm sure your book is going to be phenomenal, and, you know, I hope to look forward to your book as well. I'm sure it's going to be on Amazon and Flipkart and everywhere. That's one thing. So, you know, Neela, I want to also ask you, like, you know, from your experience, like, you know, every single time, you know, like you have gone through not once, you said, you know, 3 near-death experiences, and then you have seen your mom as well, right? So if I ask you, like, you know, what has changed for you before that incident, that when you saw your mom, from that point to now, like, how do you see life, and what were you seeing then? What is different that you're seeing right now?
So what's different to then is I guess, you know, there was a lot of pain in my life. And I think a lot of people, you know, we are only human. And like you say, you know, life throws certain challenges towards us, and it can make us go through those painful times. But I believe we don't stay in that pain. We have to break free of that pain at some level. And you know, also look into living a life of joy. You know, what is it that you feel that you have real pleasure in? You know, take pleasure in life. You know, what are the lessons it's offering you? Because life is not happening, you know, to us, it's happening for us. And I think that's where I woke up. It's like, oh God, this isn't happening to me, because if I say that, I'm being a victim. So I realized, you know, on my inner journey, you know, and seeking and what life is all about, that's what I realized. That actually, wow, this is such a gift and a blessing. So when I just stopped, and it was reflecting on, so what is this teaching me now? You know, what's great about this? Rather than, oh God, this is tragic. What's happened? And, you know, what was great about my mother dying is it awoken me up. You know, I took everything she offered life, and I have some of her great qualities. My mother was an amazing woman. I mean, she died in her early 40s, and she was in a very, you know, turbulent marriage. And it was a hard decision for her to, you know, get divorced and, you know, keep the reputation up and look after the kids and all of that. And I just learned that actually, you know, when I watched my mother's journey as well, she was such a happy soul. You know, she would light up a room. And I thought, wow. So I think a lot of, you know, what we're taught when we're younger is on the role models that we're given, right? Whether it's our parents, our primary carers, our teachers, and that gets instilled within. So I just took the good things from that rather than the bad experiences. I looked at that and thought, well, what can I take from this? You know, that would help me in my life. And that's how I got through.
So you removed the elements that were not helping you progress and heal yourself, rather than you focused on the things and elements that would heal yourself, not only heal yourself, but, you know, propel you to this beautiful journey of going out there and, you know, passing on this amazing message and transforming other people's life.
Yeah, because, you know, one thing I've really learned along life is, you know, memories, we all have them, right? We can look at our memories, then they will actually take you back in your life. And they may even bring up some really, you know, painful emotions and everything, but it's the dreams that actually take you forward.
True.
And unless you have a powerful dream and you keep having that imagination open and you say, well, what is it? Okay, this has happened now. What can I learn from it? And now what do I want to do in my life?
True.
And if we have a focus there, it kind of gives us that clarity to break through and say, right, okay, so this is my dream now, and then just keep focusing on it.
I so connect with what you are telling me right now, Neela. It reminds me of my time. As I mentioned to you, right, we went through a lot of challenges. All the properties were, you know, taken away and, you know, distributed among uncles and aunts, and we got some little amount, and then we went through a turmoil. We lost our house, we lost everything, right? And one of my dream that actually, I'm getting a little emotional here, that actually drove me like a horse, right, was to buy a house for my mom, right? And
beautiful.
That is exactly what was a driving force that helped me to not only actually have an amazing life, but, you know, travel the world. You know, I traveled the world and met some amazing people in this journey. And it is important. I think you've made a very important point that each and every one of us has something that we look forward to. And if we don't have it, you know, life is like, it's boring. It's like, you know, you need to have something to look forward. And actually that drove me like, as I said, you know, as a horse. And, you know, I was able to achieve that within a certain span of time. And that is amazing.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Irfan. It's great to hear that, you know, and that's why I'm saying, you know, that emotion comes because you have a powerful why, you have a powerful reason. And, you know, my powerful reason is, you know, I believe I'm here to really help people, you know, become more loving, have more harmony, connection. And, you know, and having looked at my own journey and working with thousands of people worldwide, I see, you know, that's the biggest thing. So it's my vision, my mission that keeps me going.
Amazing.
And I actually really love life, and you know me.
Yes. Oh,
We've
yes.
hung out,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Actually,
100%.
just today, I put a quote.
Right.
Can I share this quote on my?
Yeah, sure,
It's from
sure.
like 6 years ago, and it says, "Life is a journey." Okay,
Yeah.
it's not to arrive safely in a well-presented body, but rather to skid in sideways, totally worn out, shouting, "Holy shit, what a ride!" So
What an amazing one. I love it.
that's what life should be, right? And that's
Exactly.
how I treat my life. I'll go out there, I'll take action, I'll have a laugh, I'll
Yeah,
step into the unknown.
yeah, yeah,
And I think a lot of people are very fearful of that because, again, it depends what model of the world you've come from,
yeah, exactly.
and where
And
are you?
and
Yeah.
and and funny you say that, because every time I see you, it's like, I've been anchored to a certain feeling that, wow, it's happiness, joy, a smile, something like that, and it's phenomenal, right? You know what? And that is exactly what we are here for, like to spread what we have and give and grow, basically. But you know
Yes.
what, Neela, I want to ask you a very important question, but I think you'll be the best person to answer this, because the number of times you went through a certain emotional roller coaster ride, as you mentioned. See,
Yes.
because what I realized, even when I went through a certain thing in my life, when you are in that space, or in that, like, let's call it the ditch or the well, you
Yes.
can't see the bigger picture
Yes.
when you are there. At some point you realize, but you need like a hand, you need like a voice, or you need like some wisdom, some guidance at times, for someone to come out of that ditch, right? For a person to see through the way, there are a handful few who can, on themselves, able to see through the light, or get enlightened. So the point I'm making and asking you a question is, basically, if someone is there in that situation right now, listening to a conversation, right? Or if someone is in a tough spot, maybe the kids doesn't listen to him, and the person is very upset or fuming, or the manager is bothering him, or he or she is going through a tough relationship, or maybe money is a challenge. It's a constant, like a hamster wheel, the person is running, but not able to make more money and stuff, in a tough spot. What are the
Yes.
things a person could start doing, to come out, or maybe, start feeling this love and positivity, so that, the person can do something about it and take certain action? So what are the couple of steps that you think, as a coach, you would direct someone to start
Yes.
coming out of it, basically?
Yeah, so sure, I mean, you can't see the light without the darkness anyway.
True.
You have to go through that darkness. That's actually the key to you unlocking that light within you.
Yeah.
Because when I sit with somebody, I always will ask them, where are you now? Where do you want to get to? And what's blocking you, right? So
True.
that's the first area we will look at, is what is it that's stopping you from achieving this light in your life?
Right.
And then from there, people will start opening up. And I think the biggest thing here that I've learned is acceptance. When you can come in true
True.
acceptance of what's going on, and you have an awareness of
Right.
what your belief is, what's driving you at the core
Right.
for living this life that you're living, I think then you can have a massive breakthrough.
Right.
Then you can start realizing some key insights that, gosh, it's because I behave in this way, or I
Mm.
have a belief that I'm not good enough, or life is miserable, or whatever it is.
Right.
No
Right.
wonder my life is this, because you get what you attract, right?
True. True.
you
True. True.
you are who you become, who you would even surround yourself with.
Right. Right.
And if you're going to have like these beliefs that are holding you back. But I think, for me, I think life is a very fragile thing, because we must never, I mean, like I talked about death, it can all be over in a day, without, in a moment's notice. So I think we have to be gentle with ourselves. And a lot of people will say, oh, just avoid the pain, don't go there.
Right. Right.
They don't want to face what's really there. And I'm somebody who will actually hold my clients and the space for them, so
Mm.
they can actually process their emotions. That,
Right.
because that's who I mean, emotions aren't who they are. That's, of
Exactly.
course, they come and go.
Exactly.
But it's very vital that they get that, understanding. They learn how to embrace their emotions and learn the lessons,
Right.
because a lot of the breakthroughs that have happened are just simply by people, releasing that guilt or that anger, or
Sure.
whatever it is, and then they have a massive breakthrough, and then they can, the situation may still be the same, the memories, but the way they handle it is much more healthier. They come out healthier.
Awesome. So, if I have to summarize the answer, what you just gave me is basically the most important step that you said is, just wherever you are, just become aware of your situation.
Yes.
Accept the things that you can't change.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So become aware, accept what is the reality, and from that point onwards, look at what is in my way, like an obstacle that you mentioned, that what is stopping you, what needs to change, or what needs to be removed from your way, so that you are able to make some progress or move in a certain direction.
No, people will always come to me and they want me to fix their partner. That's normally the one, my husband or my wife.
I'll take a separate call for that.
And I quite often, it's so funny because it's like, actually, change starts with you. Let's work on you first.
Exactly.
So like you say, we have to take responsibility and accept what we can't change.
Right. Amazing. And I think you do it beautifully well. That's why people call you the relationship breakthrough coach. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. We had some great conversations, while we all three were there with my wife as well. We had some certain conversation during time in Goa. Yeah. So yeah, that's amazing. You gave some amazing pieces of wisdom, Neela, and I really wanted to pick your brain for that. And I thank God I did, because a lot of people listening out there would get the benefit out of it, right? So so tell me something. If you spoke a lot about the emotional release. I think one of your major strength as a coach as well is to help people realize there are certain emotions or certain things that they're holding on or they've suppressed. Again, in that area, what is the one or two steps that you can tell us that people should not be in that space of having this bad emotions or suppressed emotion? What can they do? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking this question, right?
Yes.
I'll tell you the background of it, because again, as I told you that my father had passed away at a very early age. My mom, of course, living in this joint family, in an Indian cultural joint family, a lot of things went on. She had to suppress a lot of things, and she had to go through certain situations, for her to raise 5 kids single-handedly and still be with the joint family. She went through a lot. So, I've realized, a lot of these things, when especially in cases of women, maybe, in the coaching industry, I've come across a lot of women. I understand the element that, it's not really good to suppress and, hold back your emotions as well, the emotional release. So, she actually suffered a little bit about in that area as well, and I can see it visibly in her health, and I do what I can to help her out. But there are a lot of people out there, a lot of women, a lot of men as well, in front of their managers, even the men in front of their managers, they don't express themselves. What can they do? Like one or two things, not to hold back. Like I remember in my industry where I was working before being a coach, I was in a customer service industry, right? So customer service, people come and, they put everything on the customer service guy, right? As the anger or their frustration or the complaint. So, I used to have a mechanism for myself, not to get affected by this. But I want to know from your view and your point of view, what could be the one or two things that, people can either release the emotions or not get affected with what is coming their way, so that they don't build up this bad emotions or negative emotions.
Yeah, sure. So, emotions, all emotions are is energy in motion, right? We're all made up of them. There's no such thing as a bad emotion or a good emotion.
Got it.
That's the first thing. Even like with my mother, I feel, she held on to a lot of anger, and she also wasn't able to speak up. And then that causes a dis-ease in your body, and you're rightly said, it affects your wellness.
Yes.
And I think that's another reason why I'm really keen to share with others, how can you, how can you deal with your emotions? How can you master them so they don't take over your life? So when we have a situation, where we're in the workplace or something, we don't just blow up, or we don't just, repress ourselves and then feel really bad later.
Right.
So some of the, it really sounds very simple what I'm going to say, but it's very easy. It's just about taking a moment to really stop and just become aware. Journaling is fabulous, for just tracking where you are day to day. How are you feeling? What makes you feel a certain way as well? So you may have had a conversation with somebody and that might have triggered something in you. So I think that's where it all starts. You become aware of what is it that's, what's causing this. And even simple things like, if you wake up one morning and, sometimes you feel a bit low, then don't just ignore it and get on with your day. Actually sit with yourself and say, what is it? Where do I feel this in my body? Because, your body will never lie to you. Your body is the barometer of your soul. And I think that's what people are missing. They are actually missing this link to, because obviously it's all mind, body and soul, but we are all interconnected. So people come to me, sometimes with a presenting physical issue or a mental issue, but it's always the body that never lies. So that's what I'd say. I would sit with the body and ask yourself, where, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? And then just allow yourself to feel it with no judgment of it and no story to it, please. Because a lot of people, they say, oh, and this happened and that happened and this happened. And I say, okay, I'm not interested in the story of it. Just be with the emotion now. And then you notice, once you get comfortable with learning how to feel, and that's not natural for a lot of people, by the way.
Oh yeah,
because
true.
Especially if you've lived a life where you've been shut down continuously, it's very hard. And I think with me, I was also very shut down as a child. I was actually taught that anger is not safe. If you speak up, you'll get hurt. It's those kind of, I've been brought up like that. So for me, it was very hard to express myself. And I think that only got easier because, over time I was willing to do the inner work, and sit with what is it, and question myself and go through that and have almost dialogues, like I'm saying, whether it's out. I'm not even talking dialogues with people. You can even have a dialogue, out in an open space with yourself.
True.
Just to empty out what's going on.
That's one of the technique that I used to apply from my customer relation work.
Wow.
There are two techniques that I used to. One of the technique that I used to use is I used to call it as an umbrella technique. Right. Yeah. I used to imagine that there is an umbrella in front of me, in between me and the client or the customer who's venting it out, and everything what he's saying is being deflected out, is on going on from the umbrella. And like the rain, right? When you hold the umbrella in the rain, you don't get wet. Everything goes on the sides. So that's one mental thing that I used to practice. The other thing that I used to go and release, I used to have dialogue, and I used to go back down to my cabin, and I would just vent it out. I would just, blast it out, abuse, do whatever I have to do to release all those emotions. These are the two techniques that I used to use, by the way, just to let the listeners know as well. And you shared some amazing nuggets. And the point, to summarize your answer basically, so you're saying that, what a person needs to on a daily or a weekly basis, or whenever he gets time and he's not feeling,
daily.
Daily, yes, sorry, daily. Yeah. Daily, at the end of the day, like I do something called a reflection activity at the end of the day.
Yes,
so
yes.
What happened during the day, what are the great memories, what were not so good memories. I focus on the brilliant memories, so I can revisit them, relive them, and stack them properly in my mind, so that I can pick it out whenever I'm low or something like that. So I'm kind of an introspection. Similarly, you're saying that one should daily introspect as to what happened in a certain situation, how did it feel, and what did I do about it, and did it make me feel good, did it make me feel lighter, did it make me feel heavier, what are the consequences and stuff like that. That's a good beginning, right?
Yeah, and just to actually not feel scared to feel it, because I think that's a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah,
they think they're weak. Oh my God, if I cry and I feel this, but I'm actually saying the opposite here. I'm saying you should feel your emotions. You should be like a child. Children don't think twice.
Exactly.
If they fall down and get hurt, they'll cry for a while, but they'll get back up.
True.
And I think that's what, as adults growing up, we've been conditioned that it's, you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't express. Yeah. So, just be like a child again. That's what I'm saying.
Awesome. And short, a simple and a beautiful answer. Neela, we have almost come to the end of this conversation, and thank you so much for your time that you have given us. And I'm sure it's going to opened so many doors in people's mind who are listening out there, to get the value out of it and, apply these things. The last question before we leave, I want to ask you, what is that one thing that you really want to change or help people change about themselves? Like, what is that one thing that you really think, this is such a phenomenal thing that people can do or create in their life and change their life and transform their life? What is that one thing that you would love to gift people?
Yeah, so I believe I can't change anyone. Like I said,
True,
people have to change themselves.
True.
All I can say is if you just take a look around you today, look at the people in your life, love more, be somebody. I think for me, my whole vision is, my mission is to really inspire people so that they can, know who they are within. They can really connect back to that love, and then they can radiate that out onto everybody, because then we'd have such a harmonious world, right? And the other thing I wanted to share was obviously, you're a clarity coach.
Yes.
And we talked about emotion, so there was something that I wanted to share, that that those tears, they may sometimes blur your vision, okay?
Yeah.
But they will also wash your eyes clean.
Yeah.
And you will see things with astonishing clarity once you allow yourself, to wash away your eyes and see, because sometimes we can get very lost. And, we are all human, and emotions, I believe, are very powerful. So it's okay if you've got a few tears in your eye. It may be a bit blurry for a while, but, you'll get through it. You'll be able to see clearly once again.
Awesome! What a beautiful metaphor, and the earliest metaphor that you gave, your body is the barometer of your soul. That's so powerful. Thank you so much, Neela. Last but not the least, where can people find you if they have to find and connect with you?
So I've got a fan page on Facebook, which is Neela Gohil at Bridge the Love Gap.
Bridge the Love Gap.
Yeah, and I'm also on YouTube, Neela Gohil there.
Awesome.
I'm on LinkedIn, so I'm on a few spaces, and and hopefully watch out for my book. It hopefully should be completed by the end of the year, fingers crossed. I didn't believe, editing takes such a long time, but we will get there.
Yes, I am certain we will get there, and we will have a lot of wisdom in your book. And I wish and hope and pray that your book does phenomenally well and impacts a lot of people, and you keep growing in this mission that you have taken up. Even I am on a mission, my mission with this podcast, with this publication work. I have not shared you, and I think it's an opportunity for me to share as well. By 20th April 2023, I want to reach out or impact 3 million people at least through the publishing work that I'm doing, including the podcast. So please share, like, subscribe, everyone. And thank you so much, Neela. It's been an amazing and overdue conversation, which I should say this. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. And
thank you so much, Irfan. You are amazing, and I want people to know how amazing you are. You're such an authentic person. I think, I've loved hearing about your travel stories as well. I really also want to wish you the greatest luck on your mission. May you touch many and transform many lives. So thank you so much for this time.
Bro, amazing. Thank you.
And,
all the best.
And live an amazing life, guys.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.